Listen, oh, listen. Come closer and hear this story that will make you question everything you know about marriage and money. This is the tale of Papa Bright, a man who walked like 10 people but spent like a beggar. A man who slept on top of millions but cried poverty every single day. By the time I finish this story, you will understand that some men are not stingy because they don't have money. They are stingy because wickedness has built a house inside their hearts and refuse to pay rent.
In the village of Amaudo, there lived a man called Papa Bright. Now, this Papa Bright was a delivery man, not just any delivery man, the kind that woke up before the roosters even thought about crowing, the kind that carried heavy loads on his motorcycle from sunrise to sunset without complaining. Bags of cement, cartons of goods, furniture, building materials, anything that needed to move from one place to another, Papa Bright was your man. His red motorcycle was famous throughout Amaudo and the neighboring villages. You could hear it coming from miles away, coughing and sputtering like an old man with chest problems, but still moving. From 5 a.m. when darkness still covered the earth until 9 p.m. when most people were already snoring in their beds, Papa Bright was riding. His clothes were always dusty from the roads. His face was always covered with sweat and grime. His hands were rough and calloused from tying and untying ropes, lifting heavy loads, balancing impossible weights. The man walked like a machine that never needed rest.
And the money? The money was entering his pocket like passengers rushing into the last bus of the evening. 2,000 naira for delivering bags of rice to the next village, 5,000 naira for moving building materials, 3,000 naira for carrying furniture, 1,500 naira for this, 4,000 naira for that. By the end of each week, Papa Bright was collecting at least 80,000 naira, sometimes even 100,000 naira during busy periods when everyone needed deliveries done. But here is where the story becomes interesting. Where was all this money going? Papa Bright was not a drinker. He didn't smoke. He didn't gamble. He didn't have a second wife hiding somewhere. He didn't even go to beer parlors to relax with other men. So where was the money disappearing to? It was like Papa Bright had a spiritual hole in his pocket that sucked money to another realm. Inside their small house, with a rusty zinc roof that sang like a broken guitar when rain fell, and walls that had not seen fresh paint since the day they got married, lived Mama Bright. This woman was something else entirely. She sold provisions at Amaudo main market, just a small wooden table under a tattered umbrella. Nothing fancy. Maggi cubes arranged in neat pyramids, small sachets of tomato paste, candles, matches, groundnut oil in bottles, salt in small bags, the kind of small business that barely brought profit, but at least brought something.
On a good day, Mama Bright made 3,000 naira profit. On a bad day, maybe 1,500 naira. On a very bad day, when rain fell or customers refused to come, maybe 800 naira. But this woman was a miracle worker. She would take that small money and somehow stretch it to cover rice, beans, palm oil, onions, tomatoes, pepper, meat when they could afford it, fish when the budget allowed, crayfish, salt, and still have some left for emergencies. Every single morning, Mama Bright woke up at 4 a.m. while Papa Bright was still snoring on the bed like a man who had no worries in the world. She would light the kerosene stove in the dark, squinting her eyes against the smoke, and prepare breakfast. Akara, if there was money for beans, pap, if there was corn, tea if there was nothing else. Then she would wake their son Bright, make sure he bathed and dressed for school, pack his lunch in a small plastic container, and send him off with prayers and warnings to behave. After that, she would head to the market with her small capital, buy provisions, arrange them on her table, and sit there from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m., selling to customers who bargained until her profit disappeared like sugar in hot water. Then she would pack up, go to the evening market to buy ingredients for dinner, head home and cook for the family.
Meanwhile, Papa Bright would return from his delivery smelling like dust and diesel. He would wash his face at the tap outside, enter the house, sit at the table like a king expecting tribute, and wait for food. Mama Bright would serve him hot fufu with ogbono soup if there was money, eba with vegetable soup if the budget was tight, garri and groundnut if things were very bad. Papa Bright would eat 3 wraps, 4 wraps, sometimes 5 if he was very hungry. He would lick his fingers clean like someone savoring a feast at a rich man's wedding. He would belch so loud that the walls shook. Then he would push his plate away, wipe his mouth with the back of his hand, and make the announcement that Mama Bright dreaded every single time. Mama Bright, I don't have money, oh. This work is not bringing anything. The economy is killing people. I can barely afford fuel for my motorcycle. Lies. Professional lies, championship level lies, the kind of lies that should win awards. This man had just collected 15,000 naira that very day for delivering bags of cement to 3 different locations. But there he was, sitting in front of his wife, looking her straight in the eye and lying like his name was Mr. Falsehood from the Republic of Liars. Their only son Bright was 10 years old, small boy with a big head and even bigger dreams, always coming first in his class despite studying with a small kerosene lamp that smoked more than it gave light. One Tuesday afternoon, the boy came home from school with a paper in his hand and sadness sitting on his face like a heavy load. "Mama," he called softly, his voice small like a mouse.
Mama Bright was behind their house, washing Papa Bright's work clothes by hand, scrubbing the stubborn dirt and grease that refused to come out. "Yes, my son. Teacher said we should buy new textbooks for next term." Her hands stopped moving in the soapy water. "How much?" 3,500 naira. Mama Bright closed her eyes and started doing fast calculations in her head. If she stopped eating lunch for the next 2 weeks, if she walked to the market instead of taking transport, if she reduced the amount of ingredients in the soup, if she borrowed small money from Mama Ngozi, her customer, who sometimes paid on credit, maybe, just maybe, she could raise the money.
Don't worry, my son. Mama will find it. Papa Bright was sitting in the only armchair they owned, the one with springs poking through the fabric like metal teeth trying to bite. He was reading an old newspaper, pretending to be interested in news that was already 3 days old. Mama Bright looked at him with hope shining in her tired eyes like a candle flame refusing to die. "Papa Bright, you heard what your son said. Can you help with the textbook money?" Silence. Complete silence. The kind of silence that happens when someone is pretending they didn't hear something they clearly heard. She tried again, her voice softer, more pleading. "Papa Bright." He lowered the newspaper slowly, revealing his face one section at a time, like a Nollywood actor in a dramatic scene. "Mama Bright, where will I see 3,500 naira? You know how this economy is dealing with people. Things are hard, very hard. I worked the whole day today and I only made 800 naira, barely enough for fuel." More lies. The man had made 15,000 naira, but he was sitting there with a straight face, lying like lying was an Olympic sport and he was going for gold. Mama Bright swallowed the bitterness in her throat like bad medicine and nodded slowly. "Okay, I will manage." And she did manage. She sold extra provisions. She stayed at the market until the sun went down and mosquitoes came out to feast on her legs. She reduced the meat in the family soup from 3 pieces to 1. She stopped buying fish entirely. She walked long distances instead of taking transport. She borrowed 1,000 naira from Mama Ngozi with promises to pay back soon. After 2 weeks of suffering and sacrifice, she finally raised the 3,500 naira and bought Bright's textbooks. Papa Bright contributed nothing, not even 50 naira for transport, not even 20 naira for pure water, nothing. This was how their marriage had been running for 15
15 years, like a broken motorcycle that somehow still moved but made terrible noises and smoked badly, and everyone knew it would collapse soon, but nobody knew exactly when. Papa Bright working hard, riding his motorcycle from dawn to dusk, making plenty money. Mama Bright working even harder, managing her small provisions business and using every single kobo of her profit to keep the family from collapsing.
Until one Wednesday afternoon, when God decided that enough was enough and it was time to expose wickedness hiding in plain sight. That Wednesday, Mama Bright was not feeling well. Her body was hot like someone had lit a fire inside her. Her head was pounding like someone was using a hammer to crack palm nuts inside her skull. Small malaria. She closed her shop early, something she never did even when she was sick, and went home to rest. When she entered their bedroom, she noticed something strange. The mattress was not sitting properly on the bed frame. One side was higher than the other, like something was pushing it up from underneath, like there was a mountain growing beneath it. At first she thought maybe the bed frame had broken. Papa Bright had been promising to fix it for 3 years, but as usual, promises from Papa Bright were like smoke. You could see them, but you couldn't catch them. This bed, if I don't fix it myself, it will never be fixed.
She grabbed the edge of the mattress with both hands, preparing to lift it and check what was causing the problem. And that's when she saw it. Jesus Christ of Nazareth, Holy Ghost fire, blood of Jesus. Money, bundles and bundles of money, wrapped in old newspapers like suya, packed in black nylon bags like contraband, stacked neatly like books in a library. Some were crisp 1,000 naira notes, some were faded 500 naira notes, all of them arranged with the precision of someone who counted them regularly, someone who visited them often like they were precious children. Mama Bright's hand started shaking violently, like she was possessed by trembling spirit. Her knees became weak like jelly. Her heart was pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears, like talking drums at an Owambe party. Her eyes grew wide like someone who had just seen a masquerade in the bathroom. She dropped the mattress immediately, stumbled backward, hit the wall, stood there breathing hard like someone who had run a marathon. Then she ran to the door and locked it with shaking fingers, came back to the bed, stared at it like it might explode, lifted the mattress again because her brain was refusing to accept what her eyes had shown her. The money was still there, very real, very present, very insulting. She sat down on the floor because her legs could no longer support the weight of this revelation, and began to count with trembling fingers and rising fury. 1 bundle, 2 bundles, 3 bundles. With each bundle, her anger climbed higher, like someone ascending a ladder to heaven, except this ladder was leading straight to rage. 4 bundles, 5 bundles, 6 bundles. Her blood pressure was rising like yeast in hot bread. 7 bundles, 8 bundles, 9 bundles. Her mind was calculating all the years of suffering, while this money was sleeping peacefully under the mattress. When she finished counting, the total sat in front of her like an insult written in capital letters with bold ink. 2,300,000 naira. 2,300,000 naira. Under the mattress, under the same mattress where Papa Bright laid his lying head every single night. The same Papa Bright who said last week he couldn't afford 500 naira bread. The same Papa Bright who told their son he didn't have 3,500 naira for textbooks. The same Papa Bright who claimed he only made 800 naira yesterday. The same Papa Bright who walked around in torn slippers saying he couldn't afford new ones. The same Papa Bright who wore work clothes with holes in them. The same Papa Bright who said the economy was killing him. Mama Bright sat there on the cold cement floor, staring at the money like it was evidence in a murder case. And it was.
the mother of her trust, the mother of her respect, the mother of 15 years of believing her husband was just a hard worker trying his best to provide. She didn't cry, she didn't scream, she didn't throw things, she just sat there, her mind working faster than a computer calculating complex mathematics. All the time she had begged customers for extra time to pay debts. All the nights she had gone to bed hungry so Bright could eat more. All the school fees she had struggled to gather alone. All the time she had walked long distances in the hot sun to save transport money. All the times Papa Bright had looked her straight in the eye and said, "I don't have money," while sleeping on top of 2 million naira. Her mind was forming a plan, a cold plan, a strategic plan, the kind of plan that takes time to execute but delivers maximum damage. She carefully placed everything back exactly as it was, folded the newspapers the same way, arranged the nylon bags properly, made sure the mattress was sitting at the exact wrong angle it had been sitting before. Then she went to the kitchen and began to think, to plan, to prepare her revenge. That evening, Papa Bright came home as usual. Tired face, dusty clothes, smell of motorcycle fuel and hard labor following him like a personal cloud. His stomach was already anticipating the hot meal waiting for him. "Hey, Mama Bright!" His voice boomed through the small house like he was calling his employees. "I'm very hungry, oh. What are you cooking? I can smell... Wait, I can't smell anything. Where is the food?" Mama Bright came out from the kitchen. Her face was calm. Too calm. The kind of calm that happens just before a tsunami destroys a city. The kind of calm that should have warned Papa Bright that danger was approaching like a fast motorcycle with failed brakes. "Sorry, my husband. I did not cook today." Papa Bright's jaw dropped open so wide that a small bird could have flown inside and built a nest. In 15 years of marriage, 15 complete years, Mama Bright had never failed to cook dinner, not once. Not even when she was pregnant and vomiting every hour. Not even when she had malaria and could barely stand. Not even during her father's burial when grief was choking her. "Why? Are you sick? Did something happen?" "No, I'm not sick. Everything is fine." "Then why is there no food? What will we eat?" Mama Bright looked at him with innocent eyes that were hiding nuclear weapons behind them. "I did not have money to buy ingredients. The provisions I sold today didn't bring profit, so I couldn't buy anything to cook." But, what about the small money you usually keep for emergencies?" "I used it to buy Bright school sandals. They were completely torn. The boy was walking barefoot to school. Did you not notice?" Papa Bright's face changed expressions faster than a chameleon changing colors. But we have to eat something." "Yes, so maybe you can give me money to go and buy ingredients quickly. Even 2,000 naira will be enough for me to prepare something small." Papa Bright's mouth opened and closed like a fish that had been removed from water and was desperately trying to breathe. His eyes shifted left and right like someone looking for an escape route. "Mama Bright, you know I don't have money. How many times must I tell you? I worked the whole day today and nobody paid me. The economy is terrible. Things are very hard." Lies. Championship lies. Professional falsehood. 3 different customers had paid him that very day. He had 18,000 naira in his pocket at that exact moment, but he was standing there lying so smoothly, like he had been practicing in front of a mirror every morning. "Okay, oh," Mama Bright's voice was sweet like poisoned honey. "Then I guess we will all sleep hungry tonight. No money, no food. Simple mathematics." "What? Even Bright? The boy is growing. He needs to eat." "Then give me money to cook." "I told you I don't have money." "Then we don't have food." That night, the whole family went to bed hungry. Young Bright cried himself to sleep, his small stomach growling like an angry dog. Papa Bright tossed and turned on the mattress, his own stomach protesting loudly, completely unaware that he was sleeping on top of 2.3 million naira while pretending to be poor. Mama Bright lay on her side of the bed, calm and collected, planning her next move like a chess master preparing for checkmate.
The next morning, Papa Bright woke up expecting his usual breakfast. The smell of akara frying, the sound of pap being stirred, the warmth of hot tea waiting. But there was nothing. Complete silence. The kitchen was as quiet as a graveyard at midnight. Mama Bright, no breakfast? She was already dressed for the market, her wrapper tied firmly, her headscarf sitting perfectly on her head, her face looking fresh and well-rested, like someone who had slept peacefully while her husband suffered. My husband, you know I need money to buy bread and tea and akara beans. Can you give me just 500 naira? Small 500 naira. 500 naira? Where will I see 500 naira? Do you think money grows on trees like mangoes? Okay, no problem at all. I'm going to the market. And she walked out. Just like that, left Papa Bright standing in the empty parlor, looking confused like a goat that had wandered into an examination hall and found itself sitting for jamb. Papa Bright dressed up and went to work hungry. His stomach was growling so loudly that his first customer asked him if he had brought a dog along for the delivery. He spent 200 naira buying bread and pure water by the roadside, something he never did because he considered it a waste of money.
When he came back home that evening, he was expecting to at least smell dinner cooking, but still nothing. Mama Bright, you mean you could not find anything to cook? Not even garri to soak with groundnut? My husband, even garri costs money, and groundnut is now very expensive. You said you don't have money, so what can I do? I cannot create food from thin air. This continued for 3 whole days, 3 complete days without cooking. Papa Bright was suffering, The man was eating outside, spending his hidden money on expensive restaurant food, buying rice and stew for 800 naira, buying iba and soup for 1200 naira, buying amala and ewedu for 1000 naira. His secret money was reducing, but he couldn't admit he had money because that would expose his 15 years of lies and wickedness. By the 4th day, Papa Bright was looking like someone who had escaped from a serious sickness. His face was drawn, his cheeks were sunken, his eyes looked tired and desperate. But Mama Bright was not done, Her revenge was just beginning. Like a Nollywood movie, she had many acts to perform before the final scene. On Saturday morning, she made an announcement while sweeping the parlor with slow, deliberate strokes. I have decided to close my provision shop. Papa Bright nearly collapsed from the chair. What? Even young Bright shouted from the bedroom where he was trying to study without breakfast in his stomach. Mama?
Yes, I'm tired, very tired. I've been managing my small profit to feed this entire family for 15 years while my husband claims he has no money. Since Papa Bright doesn't have money to support this house and I cannot continue suffering alone like a widow whose husband is still alive, I will close the shop and rest. Let me see how this family will survive. All the color drained from Papa Bright's face like water pouring out of a broken bucket. But how will we eat? How will we survive? Mama Bright stopped sweeping and looked at him with eyes that could melt iron. Eyes that carried 15 years of pain and anger and disappointment. I don't know. Maybe you will find money somewhere. Maybe money will rain from heaven. Maybe angels will bring us food. Or maybe... She paused for maximum dramatic effect, letting the silence stretch like elastic about to snap. Maybe if you check under your mattress, you might find a miracle.
Silence. Complete and total silence. The kind of silence that happens when a bomb is about to explode. The kind of silence that happens when someone's secret is about to be exposed. Papa Bright's mouth opened, but no words came out. His eyes grew wide like saucers, like plates, like satellite dishes trying to receive signals from outer space. His hands started shaking like he had been possessed by a trembling spirit. What do you mean, check under my mattress?
Exactly what I said. Mama Bright's voice was no longer soft. It was no longer sweet. It was now carrying the full weight of 15 years of accumulated anger, frustration, and righteous fury. Maybe if you lift your precious mattress that you love so much, you will find a miracle. Maybe you will find 2,300,000 naira miracle sitting there waiting for you. Papa Bright collapsed into the armchair like a building that had just lost its foundation. His whole body went limp. His face turned pale like someone who has seen a real ghost, not a Nollywood ghost. Young Bright came running from the bedroom, his school textbook still in his hand. Mama, Papa has money under the mattress? Real money? Oh yes, my son. Plenty money. Mountains of money. While he was telling you he doesn't have 3,500 naira for your textbooks, he was sleeping on top of 2.3 million naira, like a dragon guarding treasure in those foreign films. While he was telling me he couldn't buy 500 naira bread, he had enough money to buy an entire bakery and still have change left. Tears started filling Bright's eyes. Big tears that rolled down his cheeks like rain on a window. Papa? You really have money and you didn't buy my textbooks? You let Mama suffer to find the money? That question landed on Papa Bright's chest like a heavy stone falling from a tall building. But before he could even attempt to form an answer, before he could even begin to construct a lie, Mama Bright marched into the bedroom with the determination of a soldier going to war. She lifted the mattress with the strength that only comes from 15 years of pent-up frustration. She dragged out all the money, every single bundle, every newspaper wrapping, every black nylon bag. She carried it all to the center table in the parlor and poured it out like she was pouring beans from a basket. Scatter! Money flew everywhere like butterflies released from a cage. Notes landing on chairs, bundles rolling on the floor, some falling behind the furniture. The small room looked like a bank vault had exploded inside it.
Look at it. Look at all this money. The same money that was lost, the same money that Papa Bright could not find when we needed food, the same money that was hiding under the mattress, the same money that was sleeping peacefully while we were suffering. Papa Bright stared at the money scattered across the table and floor. The money that was supposed to be his secret. The money that was supposed to be safe under the mattress. All of it exposed. All of his lies exposed with it. His chest tightened. His throat closed up. His vision became blurry. And for the first time in his entire adult life, tears started flowing from his eyes. Not small tears though, not fake tears like at a funeral. Real tears. The kind of crying that shakes the shoulders and makes the nose run and distorts the face. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I was foolish. I was wicked. I don't even know what was wrong with me. I just kept thinking I needed to save more and more and more. I forgot that money is meant to be used to take care of family. I forgot that my wife and son needed me. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
He fell on his knees right there on the floor, tears streaming down his face, shame covering him like a heavy blanket. The mighty Papa Bright, who walked around the village with pride, the hard-working delivery man who everyone respected, now reduced to this, kneeling, crying, begging for forgiveness.
Mama Bright stood there with her arms crossed over her chest. Her face was hard like stone. Her eyes were cold like ice water from the well. She had every right in the world to chase him out, every right to divorce him, every right to take all the money and leave. But despite everything, despite all the wickedness and lies and suffering, Mama Bright still loved this foolish man. "Papa Bright," she said, and her voice cut through the room like a sharp knife. "I have been your wife for 15 years, 15 complete years of managing, suffering, working hard, using my small profits to feed this family while you were hiding money like an armed robber, hiding stolen goods. Do you know how that makes me feel? Do you know the pain, the suffering? I'm sorry, Mama Bright. I'm so sorry. I will change, I promise."
Sorry is not enough. Promises from your mouth are like smoke. From today, things will change in this house. You hear me? Serious change. Yes, Mama Bright. Anything. I will do anything you say. You will give me 500,000 naira from this money right now. That is my compensation for 15 years of suffering. Yes, take it. Take even more. Tomorrow, we are going to the bank. We will open a proper account. Both our names, both our signatures. No more mattress banking. Yes, Mama Bright. We will go first thing tomorrow. You will give Bright 100,000 naira for his education. You will buy all his textbooks, uniforms, sandals, bags, everything he needs today. Yes, I will do it today. And from now on, you will give me housekeeping money every week, every Friday, because I don't trust you anymore. Yes, Mama Bright, every Friday, I swear. If you ever try this again, if I ever discover you are hiding money, I will not forgive you. You understand? Yes, I understand. I will never hide money again. Never.
And from that day forward, Papa Bright changed completely, not just in words, in actual actions. Every Friday evening, he gave Mama Bright her housekeeping money in an envelope. He bought Bright school things without being asked. He helped Mama Bright expand her provision shop. He renovated their house. He became the husband and father he should have been from the beginning. The mattress that once hid millions now held only dead sheets. The man who once lied about poverty now brought his earnings home. The family that once suffered now prospered. And Papa Bright learned the hardest lesson of his life, that money hidden is money wasted. That a family needs provision, not promises. That wickedness always has an expiration date. And that sometimes the smallest woman can bring the biggest man to his knees with nothing but the truth. Papa Bright had learnt his lesson. Finally, after 15 years, after almost losing everything, he had learnt.
Hope you enjoyed the story and learnt a lesson. Please like, share and subscribe. See you in our next story. Bye!